In this video I'm going to talk about some visa options to stay in Thailand for, say, an extended time in Thailand. Now, I'm not recommending this, I'm not advising this, it's just possible. It's legally possible and it's theoretically possible, but it is against the spirit of the visa exemption and tourist visa rules. That's what they'll tell you in Thailand, okay? So it's possible, but there's no guarantees about this. How long you can do it for, it's all a question mark. It's a bit of a risk, but it can be done in theory, at least for a short time. Now, a couple of things first. If you want to live in Thailand for an extended time, you should not do this, or you cannot do this in theory, because this is supposed to be for tourists. If you can prove you're a tourist, then that's fine. But if you want to live in Thailand for a long time, you need to get the proper visa, immigration, marriage, 1 year, 5 year visas, retirement visas, there's work permits, all sorts of stuff. I'm also not talking about the 6-month multiple entry tourist visa. And that may seem a lot better, 6 months, but I haven't researched that. At the time, that's my next project to research. At the time it seemed like more of a hassle because you have to prove why you need multiple entries to Thailand, plane tickets and plane trips in and out of Thailand. So it seemed like a hassle, but it might be a goer. That's my next project. What I'm talking about here is these 3 things. The 30-day visa exemption. I'm assuming you come from a country where you get an automatic 30 days, come through the airport and you get a 30-day stamp. The Australian passport, for example, and many other Western countries will get the 30-day visa exemption. I'm going to call it here the fly out, fly in, or fly out, because you can fly out and fly in and get that 30-day stamp again. We'll talk about that in a moment. But if you do that 6 times in 1 year, you may get flagged and questioned about it, okay? 6 times, because you can extend it for 30 days. So 6 times, 6 extensions is 1 year. The second thing I'm talking about is a border run, where you go by land, car, bus, drive, whatever, to a land border crossing, go into a neighbouring country, and when you return to Thailand, again you get that 30-day automatic visa exemption stamp. You can extend that for 30 days at an immigration office in Thailand. Then the third thing is the 60-day tourist visa, which you apply from a embassy, Thai embassy or Thai consulate, and you can extend that for 30 days. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, this is one theoretical option. Say if we're going to stay, this is what you can do. And you don't have to do it in this order. You can mix up the order, but the border runs you do want to get done first. We'll explain why in a second. We'll just go through it. I also recommend, it's one thing I recommend, is that you come to Thailand first with a 60-day visa and then extend it for 30 days. It's my opinion, that's the best way to come to Thailand. And by the way, when you come into Thailand, your day number 1 is the day you arrive. So the day you arrive is day number 1, the countdown starts on your visa. So I recommend you should, if you arrive in the early morning, at least your day number 1 is going to be a good day. Or if you come through immigration after midnight, because the thing is, if you come late, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night time, which is what I was doing, you might come through immigration at 5 to midnight and your day number 1 lasted 5 minutes and you're straight into day number 2. So arrive early or come past midnight and your day number 1, you'll make the most of it. If that doesn't matter to you, then it doesn't matter. Okay, so you're going to have your 60-day visa for 2 30-day blocks. They're not months, but we'll get to that in a second. They're 30-day blocks. Extend for 30 days. That'll cost 1,900 baht, extending at the immigration office in Bangkok or other places around Thailand. Okay, then we can do a border run, and you leave Thailand for the first time. That's important. We'll talk about that in a moment, leaving Thailand. 2,600 baht there, they're figures in Thai baht. That's what one visa company in Bangkok charges to do a border run to Cambodia. Go out of Cambodia, into Cambodia, come back through for your visa stamp. They do the visa, the Cambodian visa for you and so forth. They charge 2,600 baht. If you can do it cheaper, which you probably can, then that's fine. If you live in southern Thailand, Phuket, Krabi or further south, it's even cheaper and easier going to the Malaysian border. Okay, then you extend for 30 days, costs 1,900 baht. we do our second border run, leave Thailand for the second time. That's our 2 for the calendar year. And then you can extend again 1,900 baht for 30 days. Then as an option, we can fly out of Thailand to get the visa exemption stamp. Fly out, visa exemption, leave Thailand for the third time. For example, a return ticket to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia costs 2,700 baht. If you can do it cheaper, that's fine, that's thereabouts. You can extend that for 30 days for 1,900 baht. Then you can do a 60-day visa. If you fly out, for example, to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia again, leave Thailand for the fourth time, get a 60-day visa, which we can extend for 30 days again for 1,900 baht. The 60-day visa is going to cost around 9,000 baht in Kuala Lumpur. 2 nights in a hotel, expenses and so forth. If you can do it cheaper, then that's fine, but around 9,000 baht. So that's one theoretical thing we can do, and there's 12 visa blocks there. Then for the 13th, you can just repeat the process, mix it up, change the order and so forth. But note, there's one note down the bottom here, 12 visa blocks at 30 days each is 360 days, not a calendar year. Now, that's only going to be an impact on you if you happen to arrive in Thailand on January the 1st to about January the 4th or 5th perhaps. And if you do 12 times 30, 360 days, you may not get to your calendar year to January the 1st again. So your 13th visa block, you have to fly out. You can't do a border run. But if you make up the days or arrive later or talk about earlier, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you come to Thailand, okay? But if you arrive after January the 5th, then 12 blocks, you can do border runs again, okay? So just keep that in mind, 360 days if the calendar year becomes an impact. That's only a minor point. Now we're going to go up to here. And this is where our leave in Thailand becomes important, because the more time you spend out of Thailand, the better. How much time? I don't know. Everything is a question mark. Because you may smooth your way through immigration a bit better and have less suspicion of you, because if you fly out of Thailand, come straight back, fly out, come straight back and keep doing that, they're going to say, well, hang on, what are you doing? You're living in Thailand, going in and out all the time. But if you spend some time out of Thailand, the more the better. That's going to reduce that pressure on, just taking advantage of the rules and coming to Thailand, and it may be better through immigration. Then what you can do is you can plan any holidays and sightseeing for those times you leave Thailand. You've got 4 chances there, 2 border runs, either in Cambodia or Malaysia, or you fly out of Thailand to Kuala Lumpur or another country in Malaysia and do your 60-day visa. You've got 4 chances there to make up days to do your sightseeing. If you do want to see other countries and sightseeing, do it for those times. At least maybe you want to stay 1 overnight if you fly out. That might be better through immigration, I'm not too sure, but if you just come in and out, you may get questioned, you may get denied entry. It's all a risk, okay? It's all a question mark. But plan any holidays for those times you leave Thailand, and then you might make it a bit better. Okay, so what I'm going to do, talk about these points up here. The total price, by the way, I don't think I mentioned that, around 27,000 baht, rounded up to the nearest baht, for all those things, minus your visa when you first come in, which you get from your country. You go to the Thai embassy or consulate in your country, get a visa, it costs $55 in Australia, for example. So all the other prices, 27,000 baht, okay, around 1,080 Australian dollars, 25 baht to the Australian dollar. You can work out the exchange rate for whatever country you come from. If you make up time, if you have holidays or spend more time out, that's of course going to add to the price there. It's cheaper in Cambodia, maybe cheap in Laos as well, more expensive in Malaysia. Okay. So, and bearing in mind also, a border run to Malaysia is far cheaper. I think I mentioned that. If I didn't mention it, then that company that charges 2,600 to go from Bangkok to Cambodia if you live in Southern Thailand, it's far cheaper to go to Malaysia. Even your 60-day tourist visa, if you live in Southern Thailand, you can catch a bus to Penang, for example, and that might be cheaper than flying to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. If you catch a bus to Penang, get your 60-day visa, it may be cheaper than 9,000 baht. There are companies that can do that for you, or you do it yourself. Okay. So how long we can do this for, who knows? It's all a question mark, all a risk. If you keep living in Thailand on this, you may be questioned and denied entry eventually. It's all a risk. It's legally possible, but technically it's against the spirit of the Visa Exemption visa, the tourist visa rules. The immigration officer has the final say, okay? Even if you have a visa, it's no guarantee of entry to Thailand. That may sound weird, but the immigration officer has a final say. It's my theory that leads to possible corruption, because if one immigration officer has a final say for you, let your imagination run wild there, but don't go there. I'm not talking about that. That's a big no-no, of course, but it's just my theory. So the more time you spend out of Thailand, I spoke about that. Okay, so one last trick I want to talk about is, if you want to be extra sneaky, you can come towards the end of the year. If you make sure you get one border run before the end of the year, okay, but you have to, and then you can get 2 more border runs after January the 1st. But if you want a border run before January the 1st, you have to arrive before the 3rd of October. 3rd of October at the very latest, because the 90-day visa block here will expire on the 31st of December. Then you can do your first border run. If you want 2 border runs before the end of the year, you have to arrive before the 5th of August, because then your 90 days will expire on the 2nd of November. Then your 60-day border run extension block will expire on the 31st of December, and then you can have 2 border runs. So if you want to be super sneaky, then if you want to be extra sneaky, you have your border runs before the end of the year, then you get 2 more afterwards. You don't have to do that, but that's in theory. You can do that. If you want to be super sneaky, you can then get 4 border runs in a row, 2 before the end of the year, then 2 afterwards. That's 4 60-day border run extension blocks in a row, 240 days, plus your 90 days to start with. That's 330 straight days in Thailand if you want to be super sneaky. Again, you don't have to do that. Okay, so I think I've covered all my points there. One possible option for staying in Thailand. Take care, and I'll see you